back. So today's different video. Well, it's not really different. It is, but it isn't. So what we're gonna do is we gotta go down to Jake's. So we're leaving there now. But we're gonna sit down with him, and he's gonna tell us how he got started in racing and his backstory of racing, and what turned him on to racing, and
started going a small age. I retired in 2010. Okay, story done.
We're gonna hear his side of the story, and then later on in another video we're gonna hear my side of the story and what.
Oh, that should be interesting. Holy mackerel! Hey guys, you want to tune into that one? That video is going to be like 30 seconds.
But yeah, I mean, the floor is all yours. Why don't you go ahead and start from the beginning?
Well, we're going to stop up here and cheat. So let's stop up here and get something to drink, and then we'll continue with this.
Okay. Big thanks to all my sponsors: Aces Tire and Service, 216 West Main Street, Lolly's Contractor Service at a New Salem, Don's Auto, Reps Racing Engines, Bernie the Beer Man, Bill Crandall the Sign Guy, Don's Auto.
Man, Don, you must be special. You guys said twice.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't really have many sponsors, but
hey, the car's full. But listen,
now we're gonna talk to this lady.
If you have any more and you want to come on a car,
there's always make room.
I got room. We got plenty of room.
Always can make room.
We got plenty of room.
We're gonna stop with Sheets, get some drinks, and time. Like I said, I was talking to Dad. You know, this video is a little bit different from our normal videos.
Just stick the buzzer going.
Yeah, put your seatbelt on. This video is a little bit different from our other videos because this video is more of a backstory of his life and what got him enjoyed into racing, and you know, from when he was little all the way up to his to now, and you know, figured it'd be interesting to come on here and you know, his buddy Bernie already did an interview. It's up on Facebook. If you guys want to go check that out, there's a link to it. But I want to do a video for the YouTube channel, and then later on down the road here, and you know, probably, you know, even maybe on the way home or something, we're gonna do an interview on my story and what got me into racing and from everything. So the floor is yours. Go ahead and go start from the beginning.
Where did we start at?
From the beginning.
So most of you don't know me. Some do. You know, my brother and I, Lou, we started going racing with my dad, who's done passed away, God rest his soul. But you know, my dad was a huge racing fanatic, race fan. Never was in a car, and you know, in his younger life or younger age, and so we got into racing through my dad. My brother was actually way bigger into it than I was as a kid, and probably as an adult. My brother has been what would you call, like a super fan type thing? I mean,
obsessive fan.
Yeah, obsessive race fan. I mean, he used to. He and I did too, but you know, he used to travel all over the country as he got older, and I drove with him, you know, a few times too. But anyway, I mean, you know, we started out as race fans as kids. My dad would, you know, Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, and Motordrome and Pennsboro. I mean, just anywhere that we could go. Interstate 79. I mean, we started going at young ages. I'm talking like, you know, a couple years old to a couple years old. My brother started probably going before I even did, but you know, I was my dad's shadow. I mean, I looked up to my dad. My dad was my idol. Always is, always will be. So we just started going racing when we were kids, and I mean, just I remember days where he would take us out of school early just to go to the racetrack. I mean, just stuff like that. I mean, it was pretty neat. So then I decided to go, and I left home when I was about 13. Went to an Adventist boarding school, a co-ed boarding school. I wanted to be an Adventist pastor.
I think your roommate watches it.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Steve Beagles. He watches this channel every once in a while too. And but went to Blue Mountain. Studied just a little bit of everything. But Steve was really big into the Adventist, and he still is. Thank goodness.
All right, what is this stuff? Right back there in that blue building. There's a blue building back here. That's Bill.
That's the sign guy.
I just caught it.
But anyway, after I got out of that, I instead of finishing up and going to an Adventist college, I decided I was going to go into the military, and so I went to the military for a term, and came back home. And my dad and I started a cleaning company back in like '97, '98, and then I always wanted. I'm like this idiot here. I wanted to race. I wanted to get my own car. So I found a street stock for, I don't know, $2,500 I think, just for the roller. And my dad and I used to share off. I mean, I'd race it one weekend at Interstate 79 up by the Rocket chassis shop, and he would run it one weekend, and I'd run it one weekend, and he'd run. I mean, we would just go back and forth, and then finally it just started going to where I was running it every weekend. And listen, guys, we didn't have nothing. My wife's boss up at Staples gave us a old Pontiac car that was, he used to drag race it at one point or something, and had a decent motor in it. Wasn't built up, it was just a street motor. And he said, hey, take the car and you can have the motor. So we put the motor in, we got it for free. We didn't have no money, we were just trying to get started. We put this motor in the car, and I remember going up to the mall show, and we had it in the mall one day, and I was talking to Gary Sisson, and I said, Gary, because Gary used to always sponsor our car back in those days. And I said, man, we blow this motor, we're done. We don't have the money to buy another motor. And I remember Gary looking at me and saying, racing's addicting. If you blow a motor, you will find money to buy another one. I promise you. I said, no, not me. But needless to say, we blew the motor a couple weeks or maybe a month later or whatever. And that was a Friday night, I think, at Interstate 79. And I looked at my dad, and he said, what are we going to do? I said, we don't have the money. So we let it sit. We let it sit until Wednesday. And then Pap looks at me and he says, can't we get a junkyard motor or something in that thing? And I'm like, yeah, let's call around. We found a 350 for like $400, and we put that thing in there and started going racing again. And then that year, we're coming back, and I mean, when I say we had no money, we didn't have no money.
No.
I bought a van, hold on. I bought a van off of my uncle for $300. It was a Dodge with a 318 motor in it. I had a homemade trailer with mobile home wheels on it, underneath it. And I remember coming home and coming down through Point Marion from West Virginia, and that damn van caught on fire. And I had to go get my buddy to come up there and tow the car back to his place, and then we ended up junking the truck.
Now, what car was that? Do you remember?
That was the number 2. That was a Pontiac Grand Prix.
Okay. I think I have some pictures of that car.
That was a blue. I got that off of Paul Kraft. Out of I don't know. Say what the heck is that called?
I don't know.
Right there, where UPS is.
Parapolis?
Going towards Parapolis. But anyway,
the reason I'm asking that is because I'm going to try to put these pictures of these cars as you tell the stories. I'm going to try to put the pictures.
That was the number 2.
But I don't know if I have a picture of the number 2.
Yeah, I think we do. And then we got another car. Actually, it was the number 3 And then my dad started running it a little bit. And so then, you know, I would run it and he would run it. And then every year that my daughter turned an age, you know, when we first started, our number was 2 because she was 2. Then our number was 3 because, you know, she was 3. And then 4. And then 5. And then after that, we said the hell with it. She was, you know, we stopped doing that. But we, you know, we had a couple cars. We had a couple cars that year, or the following year, and we would just run wherever we could, whenever. We always ran the back of the pack. I mean, we didn't have nothing good in them. And then we got it with a guy. His name was Jeff Gearhart. He just passed away, I think, a year or 2.
Yeah.
Out of James Vending.
He passed away with the yacht.
He started running when my daughter was 5. My dad quit doing it. And then I would run the 4 and the 5. Or I ran the 4, Jeff ran the 5. Pap ran the 5 in the beginning, I think, once or something. But then Jeff started taking over and running it. And then you know, it just started spiraling from there. I mean, we
don't forget about how they used to call us the Hendricks Motorsports, racing.
No, well, that actually came later. That come in about 2000.
And what year was all this taking place? That you were just saying?
Well, this was 97, 98, 99, 2000.
Okay.
And would have been 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001. So my dad, Jeff, and I drove the cars from 97 to around 2001. That was when Tana was 5 years old. So that's when with Tana, we actually bought with Tana a go-kart. My dad was so proud of this thing. It was a long sucker. I don't know what the heck kind of. I think it was a homemade one, but we bought her a racing go-kart when she was 5. And so I said, man, if I always wanted my daughter to get into racing just to beat the boys, and I really look forward to with Tana racing. So I bought her a go-kart for her 5th birthday, and my dad was so freaking proud of that. We were like, man, we're gonna quit racing and just have her do it. But that didn't last because Tana ended up going up there to practice, and she ran through a fence, ran off the racetrack, ran through a fence, and she pretty much quit racing. So we ended up getting back into it again, and that's when we got Jimmy Bendishaw. Jimmy Bendishaw was running the number 4 turned to 113. And then Jimmy...
That was a yellow car, right?
It was a yellow car. Jimmy Bendishaw Jr. ran for us for years. Actually, Jimmy won our very first feature with it. When he crossed the checker flag, the back wheel flew off. And it flew all the way over in the pits, and luckily it didn't hit nothing. I don't know how it did, but it did. And they ended up towing him back to Victory Lane, and that was his daughter, which, if I remember right, was she was the track princess at Roaring Knob Raceway Park that year. And they towed him into Victory Lane, and I'll never forget the announcer saying, yeah, Jimmy Bendishaw drove the wheels off this thing, literally.
Now, who was building them motors back then? For you?
Back in those days was that was actually not even a built motor that we won in that car. Jimmy just drove the hell out of it.
So this is way before. This is before we met Jake, then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we got. Then so I drove. Jimmy was driving. Or no, I'm sorry, I wasn't driving at that time. Jimmy was driving, and then we got. That year, or maybe the year after, we got Tommy Humberson. And Tommy's a great guy, wonderful guy out of Maryland. I bought the car, I paid all the bills. He would just leave the car up at his house. He towed it. I mean, it was just a great relationship. Tommy won. Oh my God, I can't even imagine how many features Tommy Humberson won.
He was a smooth driver.
He was a very smooth. He didn't throw the cars. He drove the cars through.
Yeah.
He'd come from the tail. I mean, one year he probably won 8, 9, 10 races. I mean, he was incredible.
Now, is this
good guy?
Was this before or after?
Reminds me a lot of Mikey Marler.
Okay.
To be honest.
Now, was this before or after you hit the tires?
Oh, that was before, or that was after. my old man, we were up at Interstate, and I'll never forget, I was coming around turn 2, and the car just didn't turn, or I just didn't know how to turn. I don't know. But I came off the track, and the car was literally in the air, and instead of hitting the wall, it hit these big earth-moving tires, and I'll never forget it. My old man was standing there, right there where I hit, and I was up in the air, and my old man's hollering. He's swinging his hands. He's like, "No!" And I'm like, "Man, what in the hell are you hollering? What am I going to do? I'm in the middle of the damn air. I'm coming down." and I hit right in front of him, man. I thought he would hit. I seen his heart just drop to the floor, man. It was so funny. And I'm like, "Man, you're hollering no," and I'm sitting there, and I have no option to do it. So it's happening, Jack. But we ended up going with Tommy Humberson, and Jimmy Bendishaw was running. And then the next year or year 2, we started having 3 street stocks up there. We had Bender, we had Humberson, and then we ended up getting the black 88 Monte Carlo. That was with what's the kid's name? Herring. Scotty Herring drove that car for a couple of years for us.
Popeye.
Scotty didn't like power steering, so he would take the power steering off the cars. I don't know why, but he did. He always he
willed that thing too.
We won the King of the Knob that one year with him, and we ended up we went up there, and he won the heat race. Tommy won the heat race. They started on the pole. Tommy led every lap but the last one. He let Scotty pass him up for the win because he knew Tommy never won, or Scotty never won it. So he let him pass him up for the win. I still say he did. He says no, but I know he did. Passed him up, man. They tore us down. Obviously, they DQ'd us on the 88. They said we were cheating.
Scotty's car?
Yeah. but they couldn't figure out how we were cheating. And I'll never forget it. The tech guy looked at me and he says, "You're disqualified." And I'm like, "For what?" He was like, "You're cheating." I was like, "What did we do?" He was like, "I don't know, but I know you're cheating." And I said, and then Scotty had a temper.
Yeah.
And I did too.
Yeah.
At that time. So we're wanting to throw everything out of the damn. I mean, we were just wanting to fight. And so they were like, "Hey, we'll keep your car we'll impound the car for a week." And I'm like, "Dude, you're not impounding my car. I don't know what the hell you're going to do to my car." So they ended up impounding, or they didn't impound the car. We just said, "You're not touching my car." My engine builder at that time wasn't there, and that. Let me see, who was the engine builder? I think Tommy Humberson was the engine builder at that time.
Tommy built that car.
Yeah, Tommy built the engines.
Okay.
Tommy was building engines for a while in the street stocks. But anyway, make a long story short, we ended up getting disqualified, and Tommy still won the race. So, it wasn't. It was a good. And then that's when they started saying, "Oh yeah, no, you're the Hendrix of motorsports up here at Roaring Knob," because we had like three team cars, and but then stupid me. And we used to win like crazy up there, and that was the fun part about it. And then stupid me, I decided I wanted to get into late model racing.
We'll get this out.
All right, guys, so we're back. We were talking about the late model, so I decided, being stupid, that I wanted to. So Roaring Knob came up around 06, 05, 06. They came up with this class that was called a steel block late model. And I thought, you know what? Oh man, I wanted to be like the big boys, and I wanted to run the late model class. So I convinced my dad, not that he wanted to do it, but I convinced him to sell all the street stocks because he loved the street stock class. So, and I hate your truck with the stupid thing. So anyway, we did decide, we sold the street stocks. We bought this car, a late model. It was a GRT from a guy out of Delmont, Tommy Beck. Big shout out to Tommy. I know don't even know we're doing this, but Tommy and his family was fantastic. We ended up buying his GRT car, and basically what we did was we took actually, let me go back. The reason we went and sold the race cars is Tommy Humberson put a for sale sign on one of the street stocks. The end of the race, one of the last races, and we put a for sale sign on it. And Tommy went out there and the throttle stuck, and he hit the wall and totaled the car.
Oh,
so I said, let's just go to steel block cars. So we went to, that's when we bought the steel block late model. And he hit turn 3 wall is what it was, full throttle. Oof. Coming in.
That wall's scary.
And so we took the motor out of the street stock, and we didn't do anything to it. We just took the motor out and we put it in the steel block late model. And the first year that we had it in, the first race, Tommy went out there and cleaned their clocks and won it. The steel block late model class with a street stock motor.
Was Jake building that motor at the time?
No, that was Tommy's motor. Tommy built all of his motors. Tommy was a good engine builder. I mean, he was Tommy he knew what he was doing when it come to engines and stuff. So this was before I even met Jake. So we ended up getting that, and we won that first race, and Tommy would drive it for about a half of a season. He just did not like the late model class. He didn't like it. He was a street stock guy. So we ended up getting another car, which I won't say where we had the motor built because it wasn't Jake.
Oh, I know.
But we got I bought Davey Scott's Slow Ride, his late model. And we ended up doing a motor for the super late class. So we were running one super, one steel block, and
I think I know what motor you're talking about.
The very first time we took that steel block, the super late out there, it broke. The car broke coming off the trail, off the rollback, off the car carrier. So we loaded it back up, took it home, we fixed it.
I remember that one.
Tommy Beck took it out the next week after we fixed it, took it out, was just running hot laps with it. I think he had like 2 hot laps in it. The engine builder, he tightened the bearings up too tight in the motor, and it spun a bearing with 2 laps in the hot laps.
Yeah.
Super late motor.
Ruined it.
It was junk. It was garbage. So Tommy actually technically never got to drive for us. So that was the... Hell, I don't even know. That was the yellow 91 that had the diamond shine on it. So, needless to say, Tommy at the end of the year, he didn't want to run them anymore. And then we decided we were going to go out and start looking, and we got on with Ricky Megley out of up by Greensburg area. Ricky drove for us for about 2 years. That's where we met Rep Racing Engines.
So Ricky brought you onto Reps?
Yeah, Jake was really good friends with Ricky's old man.
Really? Big
Rick, and that died at Latrobe or at Lernerville. So anyway, we'll get into that. But so we got hooked up with Jake with Ricky, and then Jake had a really good teacher for engines. His name was Jimmy Townsend. He was an engine builder that used to build Doug Wolfgang's motors for the sprint cars back in the day. And he kind of took Jake under his wing and started teaching Jake, and Jake went to school for it and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he started building our motors back around 2006, somewhere in that neighborhood. Ricky ran a lot of steel block late model classes or shows with us, and it just didn't work out. Let's just say that. It wasn't Ricky so much, it was his crew, is that Jimmy Wall, just didn't work out and see eye to eye with my old man. Said a couple things to my dad, and we ended up firing them all. Up at Challenger Speedway, actually, if I remember right. And then we told Ricky, if you could still have the car. My dad didn't mind Ricky. He could still run the car, but Jimmy wasn't coming. And Ricky didn't want to let Jimmy, go, which he should have, because he ended up turning on him anyway. But anyway, make a long story short,
we ain't getting
into that story. I'm gonna tell you that. I might get in trouble by a lot of people.
Yeah.
But anyway, to make a long story short, is we started doing that with Ricky, and we won a lot of races with Ricky and Jake's Motors, and when we let him go, not long after, Ricky got into some trouble. His dad ended up dying at Lernerville. God rest your soul, Big Rick. I mean, he was a good man. Ricky's mom and Uncle Dave was incredible people. But when we got when we stopped racing with him, we picked up Howie Bayless, got us on with Jim Kudis, and then Jim.
And then throughout this, Jake was building our motors, correct?
Oh yeah. So Jake and I, we went to, we were running the steel block motor class with Jimmy. Jake built the motor. Yeah, it was a 358 steel block.
The same motor that's in the race car.
No, well,
similar.
They're different now, but I mean, yeah,
same 358, basically.
Same size, 358. Yeah. And then we won the track championship that year with Jimmy and the steel block late models. I can't remember what year it was, 2007, 8, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then we moved up. We got a big head that year, and then we went super late motor racing. And that would have been in 2009. We went super late model racing. Jake built us a 420 or 421 or something like that, small block. We actually drove out to Indiana to go pick that motor up, and it was in pieces, and Jake put it together. That motor was phenomenal. It was awesome. And then I think we did like 3rd or 4th in points that year in the supers or something. We did pretty good. And then we moved up to a different one in a motor. We went with a 420, I think it was, all aluminum, 13-degree motor, and man, we had a fast car. Unfortunately, I think if we would have, not that he's bad. I mean, I don't want to say he was a bad driver, but I think if we would have had a different driver, we would have won a lot of races with him. Yeah. And it just, some frustration came, and I hired a guy from Texas that used to be the head engineer for DEI Racing, Del Earnhardt Enterprise Racing, and he used to work with Mark Martin a lot, and he used to work with who's the guy that turned me on to him out of Delaware? Ricky Elliott. Ricky Elliott out of Delaware turned me on to him, and we ended up getting with him, paying him very good money to come out, and let's just say it didn't work out. Jim just didn't. Anyway, I don't want to get into the details about that, but we ended up getting rid of the car in 2010 and sold it to Sammy Stiles.
Out of
Charleroi.
Well, Sammy ran sprint stuff.
No, that's Sammy Swindell. But Sammy Stiles took that car, and I won a lot of track championships with that car and that motor.
Really?
Yeah, I think he won 4. I think he told me.
Really?
So
our old motor?
Yeah. I mean, we had one of the best motors around. I mean, guys, when I kid you not, that late model, we had some good cars. We had a lot of feature wins.
You got a good street stock.
We had a lot of street stock wins. A lot. I'm going to say probably in the. I don't know. So I'm going to say probably.
We should be in the dirt street stock Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, I don't think there is such a thing, but I'd say we won probably a total of probably over 60 races while we were racing. Between everybody, Jimmy Bendishaw, Tommy Humberson, Scotty Herring, Ricky, Jimmy. I can't even think. We had a guy from up by Hummingbird that ran for us for a couple of races up there. Ran up there. I can't even think of his name now. It's just. But listen, the whole point is we did a lot of racing from about 1997 to 2010. It was something my dad loved. We did it as a family. My dad was the type that if the wives didn't go, we didn't go. except for the first race we ever won. The girls went to Delaware to my uncle's, and Pap was like, screw it, we're going racing. We went out there and we won that night without the girls there. That was nice.
I think you have a picture of that in Victory Lane with none of the women around. I was always wondering what happened to the women in that one.
So I was so excited, man. We were excited, and my buddy, he was working for me at the time, Bob, and I called him. I called him up, and he was at a truck stop. And I called him up, and some guy answered the phone, and I said, "Is Bob there?" He goes, "No, but you want a fucky sucky?" I said, "I think I got the wrong damn number." But yeah, guys, it was a blast. You know, my dad, after we got out of it in 2010, he always wanted to get back a street stock again, and it just wasn't there.
Now get into the emotional part of the stories.
So Junior here decides he wants to race. He wants to honor Pap. I think that was just a cop-out to... I think it was a little bit of honor on my dad, but I think it was a cop-out because he knew we wouldn't say no if he wanted to honor Pap. But so we started looking for a car, I don't know, what, 4 or 5 years ago, probably.
It's been about 5 years since we've had a car.
So, and Joe Kelly used to drive the car too. He'll get back into it too. But anyway, so we had this one car that my dad absolutely loved. It was a number 66. Joe Kelly drove it. He cleaned, I mean, he did everything on it. It was a beautiful, beautiful car. And
I think it was actually, so Pat passed away in 2020 on April 5th. And I think it was April 10th or 7th. I called up Dad, and I think you were on the road working. And I called him up and I said, "Hey," I said, "I want to go racing." And we went. I mean, he said, "Okay." He said, "Well, what do you want to get into?" And I said, "I want to get into street stocks," because that was Pap's favorite thing, was the street stocks. And we may have made a mistake there. I probably should have started out at a little bit lower of a class before I jumped into street stock, but
yeah, like Tonka toys.
But he said okay, and
go-karts, something.
I was in go-karts at 5. Who was calling me?
So make a story short, though, he said he wanted to get into it, and so I asked. He had asked his mom, and because we spent a ton of money.
And at first, she really wasn't like, "No, you're not going racing."
But she agreed, and we found a car. It was a Camaro, beautiful car, blown motor, blah blah blah. We were going to pick the car up, and I told him, I said, "Hey, before we leave, let's just check the Facebook one more time, Marketplace." We're going through the cars, and we just kept scrolling, and I seen one, and I scrolled past it, and I scrolled it back, and I started looking at it, and I don't know what told me to go backwards, but I looked at it, I was like, "There's no way. I called my mom, I said, "Hey, do you still have the picture of the Joe Kelly 66 that drove, the one Dad loved?" She said, "Oh yeah, it was sitting next to his bed, on his bedstand, still there." I said, "Can you send me a picture of it?" So I started comparing the pictures, and it was the same exact car. The lettering that was still there, not the lettering, but like the
graphics.
Some of the little graphics that were on our car was still on this car that I sold this guy about 16 years ago. And so I called this guy up, and I'm like, "Man, this has got it." So I called him up. I said, "Hey, where did you get this car?" He said, "I bought it 16 years ago or so off of a father and son out of Perryopolis, Pennsylvania." And I said, "Oh my God, dude, that is my car. That's my dad's car. That was his favorite street stock."
Still gives me chills.
Yeah, and so, yeah, and he said,
it still gives me chills to this
and I
day.
said, I never seen it on here. I mean, when I was looking for cars, and he said, "No, I just put it on about an hour ago." And I said, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, I've been wanting to sell this thing for like 5 or 6 years. I just never had the time to do it." And I said, "Whatever possessed you to sell it now?" He said, "About an hour ago, somebody canceled in my office, and something came across me and told me to put it on the internet for sale." And I said, "Oh my God." I said, "This is unreal, dude." I said, "I almost went and bought another one." I said, I want it. I don't care what you want for it. I don't care what, there was just telling us that this was the car that we needed to get back home. And so I told him, I said, I couldn't come now though, because it was too far away. And I said, but I'm leaving for Florida for work, and I'll be gone for a month. And I said, I'll go to Walmart right now and send you $1,500.
And he had somebody looking at it.
And
too.
he had somebody, and he said, after I told him the story and stuff, he said, dude, he was like, it just seems like that, your dad is telling us to sell this car to you. And I said, that's what my family thinks.
And he never believed in.
I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it, but listen, there was something. Something was there that made this car. His buddy wanted to rebody the car. It had the original motor, the original tires. The guy only raced it like 5 times in like 16
Where
years.
is that motor?
We tore it apart whenever we built the new motor
So
for
parts
it.
of that motor's in this motor? I think the block.
Yeah.
The block is
Yeah, the block and everything.
The block
is still-
the block in our car is like my age.
Yeah, that's an old block. That would have been
crazy.
That's the block we used. I think Jake used whenever he built the motor.
Jake built that motor for that car?
No. This when he built the motor for this car.
Yeah.
We used the block out of that car. But anyway, make a long story short, the guy said, okay, fine. I didn't know this guy from Adam and Eve other than that, 10 minutes of him picking the car up, and I sent him the money, and I said, listen, man, when I come and pay for it, you can have the $1,500. I'll pay you the regular price for it. And he kept the car. And my buddy Bernie's beer man, we all went out and we picked the car up, brought it home, and that's the car that DJ tried to race for, the first 4 or 5 races, probably.
5 races I ran.
And
we rebodied it. We did rebody it.
Oh my God, we rebuilt everything in it.
The suspension.
And now it's just sitting.
Yeah, he wanted to sell it, and I told him no. I said that car was meant to come back to us for a reason.
They want it for memories. They want it for the memories.
Yeah, and so it's literally just it's a yard ornament at this point.
Well, it'll be something that.
And the crazy thing is, God forbid something would happen like while I'm racing, and I go out and like, let's just, God forbid, I total that car. That car is race ready.
Pretty much.
All I gotta do is drop the motor and the suspension back in, and I'll have another car for the next week. I mean, so I have to. I technically.
Well, you got to understand too. The reason we quit in 2010 was Ignatz decided we was trying to get him into go-kart racing.
Yeah, that didn't go too well.
And so when he was racing, we quit.
Yeah, that's on my side of the story.
And we quit in 2010. And that's when he took over, and and I don't regret doing it. I'm glad we did quit in 2010 because I was literally addicted to racing. I mean, the electric would get shut off, so I could buy race carts parts. I mean, water was shut off. Whatever. I mean, whatever I had to do, whatever I had to sell, I sold just to go racing the following week. I didn't care.
You want to stop at Bill's again?
No.
On the way through?
No.
Why?
So that's my story, guys. If I hope you liked it. I hope you shared it, or I hope you enjoyed that.
Are you glad now? So my question to you is, after the story that they have listened to, I have listened to. Are you glad now that you got back into it? Truthfully,
no.
why?
Because racing is getting excessively expensive.
There's a gallon of fuel sitting back here.
Over $130.
I just spent $100 on it.
Yeah, over $100.
Spark plugs that I just picked up was $58, $59.
No, that's anything. But I mean, everything is tires are like $230 a piece, and you're running for $350 a night if you win. If you finish 10th,
I don't even think we've even finished a race.
Last year you didn't. It was rough last year, or 2 years ago.
That's because I was getting up.
You were
there.
trying to get.
I was trying to get better,
but
and
you wasn't. And I'll be honest, guys, he wasn't ready. So that's why I sat him out last year. I thought he needed to mature. I think he needed to get his license, and I just think he needed some time to focus was on him before he got into that race car.
Yeah.
And so I think that I'm hoping that it's better this year. I mean, he kind of knows now how to drive, and he knows he got a feeling for behind the wheel and
other vehicles around me.
Yeah.
And,
so I mean, I think it'll be a lot
speed.
Yeah, and you weren't 17 at the time either.
When I first started racing, I was
16,
and I'm 20 now. 17, 18, so 20. This year I'll be 21. It'll be 5 years that we've raced.
Well, 5 years that we've had the car.
Yeah.
We've only
he's
only raced about 4 times.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times each year. This year we're going to try to run.
This year
90%
I'm going
of the
to
season.
run 90% of the season.
We have a couple weeks that we're taking off for.
I'm taking
Florence.
off for Florence, and then I'm taking off. I think one week for vacation.
Yeah, we're not going for points.
So
not this year.
So there is we're gonna try to finish. The problem we had last year is, like he said, I was trying to get more speed. I was trying to get more handling. I was
2 years ago.
2 years ago, I was trying to do more.
You just weren't ready.
And
You
with
just
me
weren't ready.
doing more, I just kept breaking shit. I mean, literally.
Well,
Transmission. I hit the wall a couple times. I got doored. I mean.
Well, that's
normal.
happen.
But I was racing harder.
Yeah, and you did better.
And I did, and I don't even think I got lapped last year.
No, you was running with them.
Yeah, so
2 years ago, not last year. You
I
did
don't
nothing
know.
last year.
I know. We opened up the
So
shop.
anyway, guys, that's our racing story.
That's his racing story.
That's my racing
Video
story.
coming out, though.
But to answer your question, no, I really don't. I mean, if I would have much rather went into like go-kart racing where the whole family could have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I wanted to do. I wanted him to sell the car, and we were just going to buy 4 go-karts and have him and his girlfriend, which fiance, whatever you want to call her, my daughter and my other daughter. We were just going to race go-karts, and I think that they would have had a lot more fun. I think it would have been a lot. I don't know if funner a word. They would have had a lot more fun than just him doing it. But I understand what he's going through. I understand because I went through the same thing when I was 21, 20, 22. This is where my addiction started with racing when I was about your age. And I just don't want you to be me with racing.
I haven't really.
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I haven't really, like you with racing though. You would go. I take care of my stuff first before I take care of the race car. Like my bills, my phone bills. I take care of that stuff first.
I took care of the racing first.
You took care of the racing first.
And your mother will be the first one.
And the other thing is like.
And I regret that though, guys.
And the other thing was like, when I ran back in, when I first got this car, the cars, I ran, but I wasn't dedicated to the sport.
No, you were terrible.
I wasn't, and I'll be the first to admit that. I would always argue.
You had no ambition.
I would always argue with him and say, "Hey, I'm dedicated." But now looking back on it, I wasn't dedicated at all. I was just doing it for the fun of it.
Yeah, you weren't dedicated at all.
And now that I've gotten older,
that's what everybody was getting pissed off with you.
And now that I've gotten older and I've grown up a little bit and matured a little bit more, again, I have more dedication now.
You needed to mature. You needed to grow.
And everybody was saying, well, I've always went through phases in my life. I mean, you can ask Dad.
I should be retired right now, guys.
I shouldn't even be here. You guys shouldn't even know me. I should be in college working on a scholarship for the MLB. I mean,
listen.
I had scouts looking at me when I was 12.
12. Yeah,
12 years old.
He was actually, at 12 years old, he was playing on a 17 and 18-year-old league of baseball that went to the Tennessee championship, and they won.
And I got a humongous ring.
He was the catcher there.
And I got a humongous ring.
Yeah, that was pretty
Super Bowl ring. That I still have that. Actually, I don't have it now.
But I mean, he was an incredible catcher.
I will never get that until I am more mature to take care of it.
Yeah. He was absolutely. There was a guy that was from the
Cincinnati
Reds. His name was.
He was with the Cincinnati Reds.
What was his name? He was the catcher for him.
I'm getting to that. He was with the Cincinnati Reds when the Cincinnati Reds won the World Series. His son, Lance Reed.
Yeah, Jeff Reed.
Jeff Reed
is his name.
Was the catcher, and Lance Reed was his son.
They would teach him,
and I was getting taught by them.
It was incredible.
It was expensive though.
And Jeff told him, he said, listen, I can't guarantee you to be in the Major League Baseball, but he said, I guarantee you if you keep doing what you're doing,
You'll have a scholarship.
you will have a full-blown scholarship to any college.
And I had scouts look at me when I was 12, come into the games, and
this fool got a big head.
Yep, and I'll be the first to admit it. I moved back here.
He was skinny too. I mean, you got to remember this kid was skinny, small, and fast.
Yeah, I was fast.
Believe it or not, you wouldn't even.
Yeah, but this was in Tennessee when we lived in Tennessee for 6 years.
No, 1 year. Like you talking about.
I thought we lived in Tennessee for 6 years. Or I thought it was 4 years.
1 year.
Anyways,
you don't even know. He was young.
So this is when I was in Tennessee getting taught by them, and then I moved back here, and my thing was I started when I was 9 years old. We moved back home when I was 12.
Yeah, but you went to Jeff at 11 and 12.
I was training to be a catcher for like
2 years.
10, 11, and 12.
Maybe. Yeah, because you was the catcher before you went out.
And I was training to be a catcher for 3 years, trying to better myself and better, my abilities. And when I moved back to town, I got put on a team, Uniontown's baseball team, and the dad's son was also the coach's son was also a catcher,
which was terrible.
Which they used to call him Minnie Mouse, because when I say Minnie Mouse, he was like 80 pounds and like 4 foot tall, 5 foot tall. I mean, he was tiny, and he wasn't any good.
He was terrible.
But and then I walked in one day and I was like, hey, what, you got me a catcher today? And they're like, no, you're outfielder. And I said, absolutely not.
Yeah, he got a big head and said that I didn't train for 3 years with a Major League Baseball catcher to come here to play in the outfield, which he should have shut up. You should have shut up and did it, because you still need to learn all of the positions.
Yeah, I mean, and I literally told the coach that straight up. I was like, I trained for 3 years to become a catcher, and from a Major League catcher, and I'm not going to go in the outfield. And I quit.
Which was stupid. And threw the glove down and never picked it up.
Nope, threw the glove down, never picked it up again.
That was my meal ticket. This dumb ass.
I can honestly say that coach ruined my career. He did.
You ruined my life. I was banking on that money, man. I was banking on that money. I said, now this fool can pay me back all the money that I get.
So, I never really, the moral of the story here is I never really succeeded at something.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
And this is the first thing, and when we got the car,
then you went through a fishing stage, and I bought you the boat and all.
I still fish up in the mountains. I mean, I still fish. It's just not like addictively like we used to. But so when we got the race car, everybody in the family, mom, friends, family, Uncle Lou, and I'll be the first. I love Uncle Lou to death, and I wouldn't be where I am without him. I can always say Uncle Lou persuades me to make videos because he enjoys them, and I'll be the first to admit that. Like
man, look at that, Uncle Lou! Big shout out to you.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't, if he wouldn't push me to make videos, because like every time he's on the phone, it's like, hey, where's the new video coming? I need something to laugh at. Yeah. so he kind of like.
And he always gives you good advice.
Yeah, he kind of came and he persuaded me to continue to do. He calls me the Fayette County Hunt the Front.
Really?
Yeah, he called me the Fayette County Hunt the Front. I'm like,
funny.
So he actually persuaded me to keep doing the videos, and he was the one that he even said it. He said, you're not gonna keep this. This is just a phase. My mom, him, I think you even said it.
I 100% said it.
Friends, family.
And for the first 3 or 4 years, I thought we were all right. But this year's been different. I will tell you, this year's been different.
I have worked my.
We brought the car up to the tire shop, which everybody tells me I should have never did, but
he ain't even there.
He has been.
How's he working on my graphics?
He has been nonstop about making sure everything's done.
I mean,
only when we're not busy though.
Yeah, I mean
that's the rule. That's the number one.
And
Hey guys, we're gonna go ahead and close up. You're probably getting bored on this video. Hope you're not getting too bored, but we try to, especially when I'm with him, I always try to make it laughable
Interesting.
and entertaining. But, this is my best friend. Always has been, always will be. As I get older, I realize that my kids are, it's. I've changed a lot since I've been a kid.
And he pushes me too to be better and be more dedicated to the sport, because if you're and I'll say it like I've said it, and I say it now, and I used to never say it, and he used to tell me all the time, and I used to just look around and just basically say, hey, you're a liar. If you're not dedicated to racing, don't do it. I mean, because when you start racing, and this goes out to anybody who watches the videos that's maybe thinking about getting a car. If you don't have the time and you don't have the dedication to do it, don't do it. Because
we'll see what he does, guys. Because all of his life, I've gave him the golden spoon. So this year, the golden spoon turned
in my own mouth.
Turned to a steel spoon.
Yeah.
So I'm going to help him. But it's going to be up to him to, now that he's got he's got money. It's up to him to start doing the work and and taking care of what it costs.
I mean, within a month, I had this car race ready.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what it does. We'll let you know at the end of the year if he when he's broken his wallet every week, or his checking account is zero every week.
If I still want to do it,
we'll still see if he wants to do it next year. We'll see if he wants to do it next year. Hey guys, thank you.
Thank you guys
don't
for
forget,
watching.
if you need any tires, Aces Tire and Service, Uniontown, Pennsylvania,
At
216 West Main Street. You can reach us at 724-221-7615. We're always there for you guys if you need us. After hours shop services. We're going to be doing mobile services. We're open late. Where are you going to go Wednesday or Thursday, get a used tire at 7, 8 o'clock at night? Aces Tire. Okay, guys? Come out and see us. My name is Dave. My buddy Bernie up at Bernie the Beer Man, he calls me Honest Dave, because I'll always tell you the truth about stuff. We're not like your typical places that's just gonna sell you something to sell you.
And big thanks to everybody, Aces Tire, and especially Lolly Contracting.
Lolly's been incredible.
Out of New Salem. I mean, he's been incredible.
I don't even know the guy yet.
I want you to meet him. Bernie the Beer Man.
He's been phenomenal.
Don's Auto out of Waltersburg. Diamond Shine and Angel's Custom Gifts for my dad. Reps Racing Engines. We just came back
from seeing Jake.
Actually, that'll be in the next video. I'll explain that. What we're doing today.
All of our sponsors, guys, are A1 people, man.
Yeah, I mean,
just go out and see them. If you need construction work done,
go to Lolly.
Lolly's out of New Salem.
Yep.
If you need tires, come up and see Aces and us.
You need beer.
If you need any type of drinks, beer, non-alcoholic, alcoholic, go down to see Bernie.
You need engines, go down to see Rep.
If you need your car towed or worked on,
go down to see Donnie.
Go down to see Donnie down at Waltersburg, right across the street from the post office.
And if you need graphics, go see Bill. I mean,
we got you covered all the way around.
We do.
So, hey guys, thanks a lot. We'll see you.